See what's happening right now. This is the Appalachian Weekly News on App TV.
A new burnout prevention series works to help future and current teachers.
Potters new and proficient get the opportunity to express themselves at a new Boone business.
And an App State graduate finds support from the Mountaineer community and beyond after an unforeseen diagnosis.
All of this and more on the Appalachian Weekly News.
Afternoon, and thank you for joining us on this Friday, February. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on this Friday, February 19th. Live from the Beasley Media Complex in Boone, this is the Appalachian Weekly News. I'm Mia Mendez.
And I'm Garceran. It's getting to that time of year where we are starting to see severe winter weather.
The weather this week has been pretty cold.
Yeah, it really has. In situations like this, it's really important to be prepared. Keeping your body safe is extremely important, especially during a winter storm. One of the best ways to do this is to dress for cold weather. Layering clothes as the temperature drops will help keep your body insulated and protected from wind and wet snow. Hats, scarves, gloves, and boots will help keep your hands, face, and feet protected from the cold.
If you are caught outside during a winter storm, you need to find shelter in order to stay dry and keep your body warm. If you are on the road, remember to slow down, and if you are about to start driving, clear all snow and ice off of your vehicle.
It's a really good time to make sure you have a scraper in your car, guys. We'll be talking with Quadajah Rivers about the weather forecast for this weekend later. Now for an update on the COVID-19 pandemic in the high country. As of February 19th, there are 48 active cases of COVID-19 and 290 total cases since the start of the year. Last week, more than 1,700 tests were performed on campus. 49 of those tests came back positive.
North Carolina is moving forward in the next stage of vaccination. Governor Roy Cooper announced that North Carolina will gradually begin vaccinating anyone working in childcare or in pre-K through 12 schools. On March 10th, frontline essential workers will be eligible to get the COVID-19 vaccine, which includes college and university faculty and staff who are working in person. Groups before frontline essential workers will still have priority, and frontline essential workers may still need to wait on their vaccine due to a limited supply. Students who don't qualify for earlier groups in vaccination are in the 5th vaccine rollout group. If you are interested in receiving a vaccine or volunteering at a COVID-19 vaccination clinic, visit www.apphealthcare.com to find out more. As always, remember to wear a mask, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands. Katie, have you heard anything about that new vet tech program?
I have not, but I wish I did. I would have loved to be a veterinarian coming into school. Our correspondent Hadassah Rivera has the story for us.
For all you animal lovers wanting to become a veterinarian or simply further your education, App State will have you covered in the next year.
Banfield Pet Hospital recently made a multi-million-dollar commitment. They partnered with App State in the development of a new online degree program for licensed veterinary technicians. The partnership is meant to address the shortage of veterinary professionals, especially in rural communities. A recent study from Banfield found an estimated 75 million pets in the U.S. may not have access to the veterinary care they need by 2030. App State senior Hannah Baker says the possible lack of animal health care is something we can overcome.
I think it's just going to take time, and I think it's going to take patience on everyone's side. I think we'll get there, but I think we really need to reinvest in our veterinarians that we have currently, because they're inspiring the best of the future.
App State faculty will create the curriculum plan, and the program will combine Bachelor's of Science credentials with preparation for veterinary technician licensure.
If you're considering enrolling, the program is expected to start fall of 2022. For the Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Hadassah Rivera.
After a rise of anti-Semitic incidents throughout college campuses, App State student leaders are determined to combat hate speech. Sydney Francis, the president of Appalachian State Hillel, a Jewish student organization, was a freshman when a neo-Nazi message was painted in the expression tunnel below River Street.
I haven't seen too much during my time at App, but I've definitely heard my fair share of anti-Semitic comments, and I think Aaron mentioned that he talked to you about like anti-Semitic microaggressions, and just little things like that. And then also, but there's also been bigger things, like my freshman year here was when the swastika was spray painted in the free expression tunnel, and I was actually the person who spray painted back over it, and me and my friends went down and spray painted over it.
Francis reached out to school officials hoping for App State to strongly condemn anti-Semitism. However, Francis referred to the school's response as inadequate because it only denounced hate in general without specifically addressing anti-Semitism.
Are you experiencing burnout and Zoom fatigue? You're not the only one. According to the Health Minds Network, about 30% of students say anxiety is affecting their schoolwork. Chris Osmond is a professor of the Department of Leadership and Educational Studies. He created the Lunch and Learn virtual series for future teachers, nurses, and counselors to have a conversation about preventing burnout and healthy habits.
Appalachian is an amazing place to do this, because the thing about what I've learned in 11 years at App is small enough and the community is tight enough that you can reach out of your department and connect with other faculty and other administrators across campus and talk about stuff.
The Lunch and Learn series meets every Thursday from 12:30 to 1:30 online. For more information, you can email the professor at osmond@appstate.edu. Now, Mia, it has been super wet this week. I hope that there is some warmer weather in our future next week.
Yeah, let's go over to Quadajah Rivers for the weather.
Thank you, Katie and Mia. The weather forecast doesn't come as a shock for most Boone locals. As expected, a few flurries reached the high country this morning, with winds as high as 15 miles per hour. Frigid temperatures surfaced in the Boone area with temperatures as low as 17 degrees and as high as 34 degrees. You should expect evening showers with very few clouds. Moving into the weekend, Boone is taking a sunnier direction. You should see some clouds and partially sunny skies Saturday morning with temperatures as high as 33 degrees. Don't forget your winter scarf this weekend. Neighboring towns, Blowing Rock, Seven Devils, and Beach Mountains reached the low 30s with wind speeds ranging from 5 to 15 miles per hour. Blowing Rock is mostly sunny with a high temperature of 32 degrees with partially cloudy skies. And Seven Devils and Beach Mountains, winds coming from the northwest will reach up to 11 miles per hour. The sun is our best friend next week, with temperatures getting a little warmer than usual. On Sunday, you'll see mostly sun with some cloudy skies and temperatures reaching a high 39 degrees. The snow comes back for another round this Sunday evening with 60% chance of snow. Moving into Monday, the weather gets even warmer with a temperature of 41 degrees. The sun disappears, leaving the sky with nothing but clouds. We're getting some rain Monday morning. Tuesday morning has sunny skies with a high temperature of 49 degrees. Wednesday morning reaches 56 degrees with the low winds and mostly sunny skies. You'll expect occasional rain showers Thursday morning with temperatures as high as 56 degrees. The rain doesn't stop here, but carries out into next Friday with temperatures as high as 45 degrees. You'll have more clouds with very few rain showers. So it looks like we're facing higher temperatures and rain moving into next week. Do you have your rain boots, Mia and Katie?
You know, I actually don't own a pair of rain boots.
Good thing I keep an extra pair in my closet. The Black Lives Matter has actually gained a lot of traction this past year, right, Mia?
Yeah, they have, and Blowing Rock Art Museum has actually created an altar for Black lives with the help of a nonprofit, and our correspondent Grace Powers has the story.
February is Black History Month, and here at the Blowing Rock Art and History Museum, they're celebrating the holiday with a special exhibit from an App State professor that explores the intersection between social justice and creative expression.
Many students may know Kara Hagan as a professor in the Department of Theater and Dance here at the university, but she's also the director of Small and Mighty Acts, a volunteer grassroots organization with the mission to help people meet their civic potential. In response to the killings of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor last year, the group created the Altar for Black Lives as a place for the community to come together, grieve, and be inspired to make social change. The altar was displayed on King Street before being housed in the Blowing Rock Art and History Museum. I talked to Willard Watson, the Programs and Outreach Director at the museum, about why they felt it was important to showcase the altar.
So it's really a chance to, show people that we see you, we want you to be represented. You are part of this community as well. And it's also important, we are the only arts and culture organization in the county. There's no other art or history museum in Watauga County, or the High Country for that matter. So it's our responsibility to have these conversations.
The Blowing Rock Art and History Museum are working with Small and Mighty Acts to create a program series organized around the altar. On February 24th, Kara Hagan will lead a virtual workshop called Writing on Justice, and on March 4th, there will be a discussion on the intersection of dance arts and social justice.
The Blowing Rock Art and History Museum is hosting the Altar for Black Lives exhibit in the Alexander Community Gallery until March 27th. Go to smallandmightyacts.org for more information on the exhibit and the schedule of programs here at the Blowing Rock Art and History Museum. For Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Grace Powers.
Dr. Christine Least, an associate professor in the School of Music, discovered new ways to adapt to the changes COVID-19 has brought this year. The Bachelor of Music in Music Therapy program at Appalachian State is small and requires an audition, interview, internship, and 6-credit-hour practicum that happens in various places throughout Boone. Least, with the help of the Children's Playhouse, created a way to interact with clients in a program designed to promote social skills, fine motor movements, and other individual objectives. M. Hooks is a senior in the music therapy major. Hooks says music therapy is needed in Watauga County.
I think it's really highly valued in this county in ways that isn't always seen, where there's not an institution that's really advocating for it. And teachers are seeing, and caregivers and people are seeing the value.
If you're headed to the Tanger outlets this weekend, be careful not to step into the prehistoric era. The Appalachian Fossil Museum recently moved in January to their new location at the Blowing Rock Tanger outlets. A T-Rex skull, a fossilized seabird egg, and a complete emerald collection are just some of the new additions to the museums added to their collection. Doc McCoy is the owner of Appalachian Fossil Museum.
God, we got a rare fossilized seabird egg that's completely agatized, so an egg actually turned into a gemstone. That's probably one of the rarest things in the museum. There's been less than 24 of those found ever for the entire world. We try to show what you don't see in normal museums. Being a private collection museum allows us to show you stuff that normally big museums can't show you.
And opening for the museum is on April 9th at 11 in the morning. For now, the museum operates on limited hours, Wednesday through Sunday, from 11 to 7. Now, I haven't heard much from men's basketball lately.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'm curious to see how they're operating after their break from their COVID cluster. Garrett, what do you got for us?
Well, thanks, ladies. And it seems like forever since App State men's basketball had a basketball game. But don't fret. App State men's and women's basketball are back in action tonight and tomorrow as both teams take on the Jaguars of South Alabama. The men's basketball team will be playing its first set of games since January 30th. The weekend series versus South Alabama has major postseason implications, with both teams battling for the top of the Sun Belt East Division. The game will be broadcast live from the Holmes Convocation Center at 6 p.m. Now, the Lady Mountaineers are hitting the road to Mobile and looking to improve their record to over 500 after impressive sweep of Coastal Carolina. In the Saturday matchup against the Chanticleers, the Mountaineers were on fire from the three-point arc, pouring in 14 threes as a team. The real story of the night was Tiara Wilson, who lit it up from downtown, scoring 15 points and cashed in on 5 three-pointers. The Lady Mountaineers look to keep their momentum rolling against the Jaguars tonight at 7 p.m. App State softball split a doubleheader against Charlotte on Tuesday. The Mountaineers won the first game 12-7 and fell in the second game 3-5. In the first game, the Mountaineers took an early 8-0 lead in the first inning and never looked back. Bailey Morton tied her career high with 5 RBIs. In the second game, the Mountaineers and 49ers were neck and neck until the 5th inning when Charlotte took the lead. The Mountaineers couldn't recover and suffered their second loss of the season. Next, App State plays a 3-game series at UNCG this weekend. Now, the power of social media is absurd, and the App State fan base is a group of special individuals. Michael Morgan saw firsthand what social media can do. Morgan was diagnosed with leukemia for the 3rd time, and he and his family had to prepare to fight again. Morgan's wife posted a GoFundMe on Twitter for $5,000 to cover medical expenses. The App State fan base saw the post and immediately pitched in, helping the Morgans reach their goal in only 2 days.
Everybody was sharing it and donating, and it was this crazy thing. And then, eventually a lot of the Louisiana people started kicking in, and then a bunch of Georgia Southern people started kicking in, putting everything aside for a minute and being as helpful as possible.
In late January, Morgan announced that he's officially clear of leukemia cells. but will continue to go through treatment as it is routine to finish in caution. On behalf of everyone at the Appalachian Weekly News, Michael, stay strong, and we're proud of you. Now, COVID-19 has impacted many sports programs here in Boone, but varsity teams aren't the only ones being affected. Stephen Biddix has more on the story.
Appalachian State's club sports are one of the many activities that have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. App State Club Baseball and many other teams have not played games since March of 2020. App State's club baseball team has had a rough go over the last year. The team has not played a game since March of 2020 and are struggling to find places to practice. To learn more about the difficult situations they've been facing, I sat down with Treasurer Justin Bullock and Club Representative Max Almond.
Due to COVID, it's been frustrating because we haven't been able to play any games. We've just been able to practice. And last year we were able to use SoField, which was the indoor facility for App State Athletics. And unfortunately this year, no club teams were given an opportunity.
I'm standing in front of the Ted Mackerel Soccer Complex where the club baseball team also used to be able to practice. Due to COVID-19, the soccer complex is now charging an hourly fee that the club baseball team cannot afford.
With us not being able to play, we're not going to make the members of our team pay dues because we just feel like that wouldn't be fair to them.
Looking forward to the fall, the team is optimistic that they will be able to compete again.
We're only going to be losing 2, maybe 3 players. We're also going to be looking to play bigger schools, and we're just looking to come back strong and finish the season, hopefully go to the World Series.
With the COVID-19 vaccine on the way, club baseball and other club sports are hoping to make their return to the field this fall. For the Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Stephen Biddix.
That's all for sports this week. Katie, Mia, I hope I got you all caught up.
Garrett, you did exactly that. I feel like I'm in the know now.
And now it's time for your High Country High Note. Now, Mia, have you been doing a lot more crafts since the pandemic?
You know, I actually have, and based off of what they're doing over at High Country Clay, I'm pretty excited to see what's happening.
Maybe we have a new hobby in store for us. Our correspondent Xanayra Marin-Lopez has the story for us.
Located just off the NC Highway 105 bypass is a new space for creators in Boone. Newly opened is High Country Clay, a local community studio for clay artists.
What started as just a small group of ceramists is now High Country Clay. Opening a small business during the COVID-19 pandemic was a struggle, but the group recently signed a lease on this new upgraded studio space. It was formerly owned by the Blue House and designated for painting. To work in the studio and make pieces like these, you must submit an application. Communication Outreach Coordinator Andy Aldred has info on how the process works.
We have an application process to become a member. It's super short, super simple. We don't require a portfolio to come in. We are open to people that have never touched clay before, to people that have had experience for 20, 30 years. Right now, what we're doing is we're accepting applications on our website, and then after that, we will have our main person, Sarah, contact that person, and we'll just do a rundown of what the studio space is. We'll give them a tour. They get to learn more about what we do here, what our mission is, and it's really easy to get started here, yeah.
If membership isn't for you, High Country Clay holds many workshops, classes, and events open to the public.
Right now we're aiming to have 2 workshops a month. We try to aim these at beginners, but we also are looking to provide more classes for people that have maybe some advanced skill that can't get into the studio space or can't afford studio space. So we really want to be able to provide the ability to work with clay to anybody. Our most recent one was our Valentine's Day one, which is a paint your own pottery, and we plan on doing that again in the future. And then some more things like learning how to throw on the wheel, hand building, making your own mugs, stuff like that will definitely be coming in the future.
If you'd like to try your hands at working with clay, visit High Country Clay's Instagram to stay up to date on events and workshops. For the Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Xanayra Marin-Lopez.
That's our report for this week. I'm Mia Mendez.
And I'm Katie Garceran. For all of us here at the Appalachian Weekly News, thank you for watching.
We'll see you next time.